Hello and welcome to Nikki and Joe Discussing Series. My name is Josiel Vasconcelos, but you can call me Joe.
And I am Nicole Camille, also known as Nikki, and we are two Brazilian advanced English students. I'm an English teacher.
And I'm an accounting student, and I'm passionate about the language.
And we have found here on this podcast a new way to have fun while we practice English.
If you love TV series just like we do, stay with us every week when we watch and talk about all the details of the episodes.
Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Nikki Joe Podcast, and stay tuned for upcoming episodes.
It's okay. Sing a song inside your head until we leave. Who are you talking to? It's just a little kid. Come on.
You afraid of the dark? You know what I used to do when I was afraid? I would sing a song inside my head. You should try it.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Nikki and Joe Discussing Series. Today we're gonna discuss The Return, Season 1, Episode 4, Victor.
This episode starts with a flashback from 29 years ago. We see Victor as the same kid that he is on the present moment. And we learn how he died on this episode. He was in his house sleeping, and first his mother was killed, and then a guy went into his room and told him to just sing a song on his head so he wouldn't be afraid. And then the other guy showed up and killed him. So it was really horrific, you know.
Yes.
It was.
And we also got to see why he's afraid of the dark.
Yes.
He was killed when he was in the dark. It was a very strong scene to start the episode.
Yes. We it set the tone for the whole episode because you know, it was a pretty okay, it was for me, you know, that I don't feel good about watching this sort of stuff, so it made me
Yes.
feel how can I say that? It made me feel bad, you know, like emotionally drained after watching. But before that, we see his mom telling him a fairy tale, and he asks her, he kind of questions her, saying, "You never told me who she is." I think it's referring to the fairy on the book. And his mom says to him, "You know when you see her." And also she says something else like, "You always carry the weight of the world in your head," which I think it's something strange, you know, to say for a 7-8 years old boy. You know, I didn't understand this part, and I hope that we can see in the future episodes why she said that, because right now I don't understand. And on this scene, when his mom is telling the fairy tale, is reading him the fairy tale, we also see the landscape of the town again. You know, the forest, the river, the mountains. And I wonder if it's just to say that that he lives in the same town as the other people who came back from the dead. I don't know.
I think he does because he was on the bus accident in the first episode, and I think the things he's doing is because he wants to get back at the town. I don't know, at the people who live there. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna see that at the end of this episode. So let's move on. And then we cut back to the present, and it's morning, and Victor goes to Julie's bed. He kisses her forehead, and it's a very mother and son, you know, scene. if you don't know him, you're gonna think that it's a cute scene. It's something
Yeah,
that
something
he's
very
a lovely
normal.
boy. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then we hear the screams from coming from the apartment across Julie's, and we see the neighbor's body on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
really trashed. There's blood coming out of her mouth. Her eyes are wide open,
I
looking
wonder
very
how a kid
scared.
I wonder how a kid would do it all.
Yes, that's crazy because she has, I think she has stabbing wounds on her stomach, so
She was
don't
all
understand.
yeah, she was all over the place. She was all I don't know.
Yes, it was a really gruesome. I don't know. It was bad to watch. It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to watch, and also the cats were eating something that I don't know if it's a piece of her.
I think it
Uh,
was because I
oh
saw
my god.
blood. Yes,
I
there
can't
was
say that I
blood.
haven't seen this before, but I wasn't expecting to see it again because I saw a similar thing on the X-Files, but it was actually a dog eating the rest of his owner. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always bad when that happens. It's really creepy. Uh, yeah, so these stabbing marks in the future scene, we're gonna see that Julie is preoccupied. She thinks that maybe it's the same guy who attacked her,
Yes.
and yeah, we see her having this conversation with a lady police officer that I don't remember her name.
I don't think they told us her name, but
Yes.
it's the first time that she enters Julie's house
Mhm.
and she sees Victor.
Yes. And since we're talking about that, and then she advises Julie to send him away, right? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and later in the episode, we're gonna see what happens to him. Okay,
Yes.
going back to the first scenes, we see Jack and Claire having breakfast together. They seem to be doing well, working on their relationship. And Claire is saying that she agrees with him, with his idea to move out, so Camille can have a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
But they are interrupted by the police that finally shows up on his house to interrogate him about Lucy, because we hadn't seen, right? We hadn't seen him being we
Interrogated.
had interrogated or even like reading the newspaper and uh, learning what had happened to Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's called. The police is there, and he goes to the police station. And Tom is called to uh, go there too to interrogate Jack. And at this scene on Ron's house, they call him and they say his name Solano, right? His last name. And
Yes, I was
I
wondering if
just,
that was actually his last name or a nickname, but
I
it
think
sounds like
it's,
a last name.
yes, I think it's a last name. He's probably Latino. Okay, he seems to be from a Spanish speaking country because of his last name. Not country, but his origins, his family heritage.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is that I don't remember they mentioning his last name before, and we already know his last name, his first name. So I was wondering why they mentioned the last name now. If that's gonna be important for um next episodes. I don't know. Just
Mm-hmm.
a theory. And he is still acting as if he didn't know about Simon. Oh my god, I'm starting to not. I think because of the last episode, I'm starting to despise this guy. And he's acting like he was still a good guy, saying that he doesn't want to push Rowan to get married to him. So, and Rowan just wants him to leave the house so she can be alone with Simon.
Yeah, I
And
guess he just realizes that she doesn't love him as much as she loves Simon.
yes, probably.
That's obvious.
And then he finally leaves the house, and Rowan goes to the attic to feed Simon, who kind of attacks her. Not really. He kind of tries to have sex with her.
He got too
But
excited.
yes. And it's like he's hungry. Hungry for sex.
Yeah, because he spent
Like
6
he's
years.
hungry for
He
food.
spent 6 years without having sex. So
Yeah, it's like the same way he's hungry for food, he's hungry for sex. I don't know.
yeah.
Quarantine mood. Sorry.
Yeah.
And she says that she doesn't say that she doesn't want to, but she kind of explains to him that he just came back. So it's better not to do it. And I think
I don't
it's
know
funny
why.
because
I don't know what. I don't know what's the thing with these people from this town, but they all they all always act as if it was a normal thing when someone dead returns to life, you know? Because I was expecting Rowan to freak out a little bit when she realized that he was alive, you know? But
yes,
in this episode, she just treated him like a normal guy. She even says like, "Oh, but you don't understand. You're still 25." So she knows that he was dead, you know, because I don't know. It's so weird the way that these people from this show act, you know.
she it's like, again, right, the same reaction that Claire had. She didn't cry, she didn't say that he was lying, that he wasn't real, that she didn't it didn't how can I say that, cross her mind that maybe he faked his own death or something, because I think I would
Yeah,
be like,
it would be a normal explanation for it, but she just kind of accepts the idea that he came back to life and treats it as a normal thing, you know. I don't understand.
yeah. And also I thought it was really funny that the only reason that she didn't want to have sex with him was because he just came back and not because she's engaged.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I didn't think this, but that's true.
yeah,
She doesn't consider her engagement like a serious thing, I
it
guess.
seemed. Yeah, I think in the minute that he showed up, the engagement was off topic for her. Like off the table. No.
As we expected,
Yes, that's true.
as we wanted it to happen.
Shipping since the first episode, so.
Uh-huh.
And then we see Camille talking to, and then we cut to Camille's house, and we see her talking to her mom about her old Facebook page. And it was a moment that I, again, was feeling really, what is the word that I can use?
Annoying.
Yes. I was already annoyed by Camille. I think the actress's face is really, I don't know. It's
She
annoying.
looks
Is it
annoying.
annoying?
She looks annoying to you.
Yes, but is it just me? I wonder.
I don't know. I think it's just Camille's personality that bothers us sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, she
yeah,
doesn't
that's
bother me that much, but she's a bit stubborn
and
sometimes.
self-centered.
Yeah, self-centered and selfish.
Yes, and yeah, that scene that she's really being jolly. Uh, her sister is falling down the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
and then we cut to the hospital where we see
I
Lina's
guess
body.
we just need to mention that Lena was looking at she was looking at the wound that we mentioned in the previous episode, and it was not a small wound anymore. It really looked like an accident mark.
Yeah, it's right
It
now it's
was
looking really bad, deep, and the
yeah,
it's like
and it's
it's like
bleeding.
when we see her in the hospital, uh, her body is looking like a corpse. It's she looks
Mm-hmm.
like a dead body
She's
already,
yes. I she
and
was looking she was she started feeling a lot of pain. It started hurting a lot on her, and yeah, it was like she was feeling something, like because we know that she's feeling something that happened to Camille, right?
mm-hmm.
It is also explained in the episode. So maybe I guess
Yes,
that
I was
was
gonna talk about that because on I think it was the second episode. No, it was the last episode. I tried to say that she was going to, how can I say that? She was gonna suffer the same injuries that Camille had. I had
mm-hmm.
this theory, and yeah, this is exactly what's going on. What's going on to her. But in my head, I thought that it was going to be much worse because a bus accident, and for me, the bus fell off. Didn't the bus fall off a cliff or something? So, you know, when there was this similar accident here in Fortaleza, the stories is that people, that their body got, some part of their body got separated. So yes, there was this accident, and because of that, I thought that the Camille's injuries during the accident would look way worse than it did, because she
Mm-hmm.
only was impaled. So
Yes,
I don't
they
know.
said it in the end.
Hmm.
And but yeah, as we already mentioned in the last episode, I guess she's having this issue because of their twin connection, you know, and they also show us in the end of this episode that Lena said that she was still feeling Camille after she died, and she went to see her body. Her body was already looking bad, really looking like a corpse.
Oh yes, it was
And
so disturbing that scene because she had the makeup uh, on the front part of her body. She looked really normal, but then on
when
the
she,
back we
yeah,
saw that her color was pretty red. Have you
uh-huh.
ever seen a dead body?
Me?
Yes, in person.
No, no, yeah,
No.
I have, but it
Yeah.
was a very horrendous image, like maybe 10 years ago, I guess. I don't like to remember this scene, but it was like
Yeah, I'm sorry.
a woman was, she got hit by a truck, I guess,
Oh my god.
and her body got smashed, something like
Mhm.
this. It was something very horrifying to see, and anyway, it was something very
Yeah, it's just
bad and
because
ugly.
I not gonna go into the. Okay, I saw a person in the coffin, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, his body looked really pale, so it was really bad. It was
Oh
actually my
yeah.
brother, so
Uh-huh.
it's to see the scene of Camille holding, actually, of Lena holding her dead sister was not a good thing for me to see,
Yeah, it
so
would make you remember, right?
yes,
Yeah, I
it's really.
understand.
Today it was supposed to be my brother's birthday. Just
Today?
a random information. Yes.
Today, really?
Yes.
Oh,
He
I
was
didn't know
supposed to
that.
be turning 39 years old already.
Oh, I
So,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Why would you know? I'm just mentioning because I'm
Yeah,
talking
but
about that. So,
it's kind of a coincidence.
yeah, it kind of seemed really bad to see that. It was the first. Actually, I saw another person in the coffin. Okay, never mind. I already saw some. Why am I talking about that? It's just because it was really real. I haven't seen this before on a series,
What?
the body, a person holding a dead body, and the dead body being already ready to,
The funeral?
yes, to ready for the funeral, and the difference between, their faces and the rest of their body. So yeah, it just
Uh-huh.
made me think about that.
But I guess it's better for you not to think about it. Like, too many things to think
Yes,
at the
I'm
same time.
really morbid right now. I'm sorry because you just said
Yeah.
that you don't like to think about reality, and I'm bringing that up.
Yeah, I
So,
just don't like to picture image of dead people in reality, yeah. It's some things
yes,
that I have problems with
yeah, I
just
think
picturing this stuff. But
it's
I
it's it's normal to be like that instead of otherwise,
mm-hmm.
instead of the contrary.
Yes, you're right. So let's just move
Oh
on.
yes, I don't even know where I was. Oh, so yeah, I still think that maybe Lena is having all these symptoms because in order to one survive, the other one has to die. I don't know. Or maybe Lena was the one who was supposed to die and not Camille. I was thinking about that. Don't know.
Yeah, I guess both of them were supposed to die,
Oh yes, that's true.
and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess yeah,
Because
it
the
might have
fact that
something
they
to do
are
with it.
twins, makes me think that maybe, because I believe that you only die if you are supposed to die. There's no like it was an accident.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Final Destination movies,
Mhm.
Premonição in Portuguese, because the people who escaped death, they they were supposed to have died in the accident, but for some reason they they could run away from it.
Oh, don't
But
talk about that. Now
just
you
one.
are making me scared.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention this.
Mhm.
But yeah, but they were supposed to have died in the accident, in some accident that happened in the movie, and but they didn't. They somehow they escaped, and so that's where it would come for them. That's what it would come for them, and maybe
Mhm.
that's what's happening to Lena also. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, still in the hospital we see Peter comforting Claire. They kind of
Mm-hmm.
even it's like they're cuddling. I don't know. It was a very
I don't remember this scene.
um yeah, they
When
kind
was it?
of do this very long hug, you know, when Peter goes there to see how Lena is doing, and Jack is not there, and then Lena kind of implies that this is because of that her state is because of Camille's, because she came back. And then later we see Peter having this conversation with Camille, saying that he didn't think it's her fault. He doesn't think it's her fault, and that God wouldn't bring her back just to make people that she loves suffer. And I was like, what makes you so certain that it's God who bring her back? So yeah. And what else can we talk about this whole?
Was Lena who said this, right? Or Camille?
No,
I'm trying to remember.
Peter. It was a conversation outside the hospital between Peter and Camille. He's trying to, because Camille is like, do you really think that this is happening because of me? But in my head, she is kind of faking, everything. It seems to me like she already know what's going on. It's weird.
Yeah, I think she's suspicious from the very beginning. From the very
Yes,
beginning of the show.
I wasn't picking up this vibe, but later, I started to feel like she's hiding something.
I think she's not the only one, because we see that Helen, when she's talking to the priest a little further in this episode,
I was
she's
gonna comment.
yeah. No, but we will comment this later. Just a quick note. But yeah, she says some things about the afterlife and about things that she might have seen, I guess. And I guess we got the impression that she knows
What's going
things.
on?
She knows something. I'm not sure if she knows what's going on, but I think she knows something,
Yes.
So I guess these people, Helen, Camille, and Simon, all the people who have come back to life, they had some scenes. We saw them in some scenes that when they were talking about their death or talking about death in general, they were acting like suspicious. They weren't. It's like we could see that they weren't being 100% honest, or maybe that they knew a little more of what's happening. I just an impression that I had
It makes
through
sense.
their facial expressions.
Yeah. We can even see that on Simon, right?
Every time. He's one of the most suspicious for me, but yeah, we'll see.
He's the most suspicious. Most suspicious.
One of the most suspicious for me. So we were talking about Tommy talking to Camille, right?
No, not Tommy. I was looking at Tommy's face right now, but not Tommy. Actually,
Peter.
it was Peter.
Sorry.
Yes.
Because they both look alike. Lena said that what was happening to her was because of Camille, and
Yeah.
Camille looked upset, and she kind of she left the hospital, and I guess Peter was trying to comfort her, and he said something that I noticed in this scene when Peter was talking to Camille. He said that after you lose someone you love, life forces you to keep on living, and then joy returns. And when he was saying this, he was looking down as if he was remembering something or someone. And we also know that when he was talking to Simon in the previous episode, he mentioned that he knew someone, right, some time ago, that was just like him. So he was talking about his own experience when he was talking to Camille, right?
Yes.
That he lost someone, but then someday life made him forced him to keep on living, So we have the information that it was someone close to him, the person that he mentioned in the previous episode.
Yeah, I
right?
didn't pay much attention to this.
You
To
didn't?
Peter. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
when he
after
was
the last scene of the episode, I'm gonna pay closer attention to him.
yeah, but when he was saying this to Camille, he was looking as if he was remembering someone.
hmm Yeah, so coming back to the beginning of the episode, the middle of the episode, we see Tommy interrogating Jack, and I think he kind of believes in Jack's innocence.
Yes.
And then, of course, he goes back. He goes to his office to check on Simon and Rowan to see if they're
Yeah,
having
before
sex.
before that before that creepy and absurd scene, I would just like to mention something that was nice in this scene of Tommy and Jack, because I think it
hmm
was the first time that we saw an interaction between two different storylines. Was it?
Yes, that's true.
Because Tommy hadn't talked to Jack before that. Tommy was talking about Jack's loss. He was talking about when he lost his daughter or something like this. And
Yes.
it was the first time that we saw two different stories colliding, you know. Um,
Yeah. Tommy was really sympathetic to Jack's situation,
yes.
right?
I
I
think
think,
he seems to be a good guy. At least in this episode, he seemed to be a good guy, but with bad intentions, you know.
I think
In
he
some
is
aspects he
a.
had
I think
bad
actually for me
intentions
is the opposite. He's a bad guy
with
with
good intentions.
good intentions,
Yeah, it makes
trying
sense
not to
too.
be a bad guy.
Yeah, no, but he was talking to when he was talking to Jack. I didn't have the feeling that he was a bad guy, and also when he was talking to Rowan in the end, he showed feelings. You know, he showed how he was upset. Even if he was wrong, he showed that he was upset,
Yeah, it's not
and
like he's
I
a
guess he cried.
psychopath.
He cried,
He's
didn't he?
yes, yeah. I think he's just a. He's not like a pathologic creep. He's more like a how can I say patriarchal.
I would resume it as just like he's someone who does anything to achieve what he wants, even if it's wrong, because
Yes,
I think he was obsessed with Ron, and he was insecure that he says that that he was afraid that she would start hurting herself again. And I was thinking like, oh, so really she was really bad after Simon died, that
yeah,
she did
like
bad
her
things to
mental
herself.
health.
Yeah. And he says that he put the cameras because he was afraid that she would hurt herself
No, my
again.
goodness.
But
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 why
I think he
why
was
there
no,
was a
yeah.
camera on her daughter's
Yeah.
room?
Yes.
Makes no
Yeah.
fucking sense.
It
I'm
doesn't make
sorry.
sense. Yes. Because he said that, but I think it was an excuse to control her, I guess, to be aware
Yes.
of everything that she would do. I just think he's
hmm
obsessed with her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, he's not a good guy because he's doing things, his motives to do things are personal, are not like he says that it's because he didn't want Rowan to get hurt, but it still is like he's trying to, because he was keeping things from her, so it's like like you're saying, he's controlling her life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's like the owner of her life.
Yeah, that's what he wants to be.
And yes, he's kind of addicted to looking at Ron's daily life through his camera. And he sees them having sex, and he's like really mad. And the scene is cut short because we're now seeing the, as I put it here, the old man's late revived wife, Helen.
That's a very big explanation of who she is.
Yeah, so she's cleaning herself up, and the water from the sink is coming back dark, you know, this black and thick liquid again.
Again, yes.
Yes, and we learned that it's coming from the church again. So the only place that we saw this water turning dark was at the church,
Yeah.
at least for
It
now.
was maybe related to a
Why?
demonic force.
Yeah, but why in the church?
Yeah,
I thought that
I don't know.
it was a sacred place where this kind of things couldn't happen.
Before the scene when Tommy and Jack were talking, Jack was interrogating Tommy when when Tommy was interrogating Jack. I'm sorry. When Tommy was interrogating Jack, he mentioned that Jack gave a lot of money to Lucy, and they started talking about the relationship that Jack had with her. And when Tommy left, Jack started crying, and I was just wondering if he was crying because he was told about her death in that moment, or maybe because he remembered something. I don't know. I don't think that he killed Lucy. I don't think that he had nothing to
No,
do
I don't
with,
think that at
yeah,
all.
I don't think that he has nothing to do with Lucy's death, but maybe he probably could have known something because
Yeah,
he
but I
started
think
crying.
he's probably just feeling guilty because they were having this argument, and then she left like that because of
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah. But I don't think he had feelings
So
for her. He was probably
no, I don't
just,
think so.
yeah, he either felt guilty or he knows something. I don't know. Yeah,
No,
he
and
started
also
crying out of nowhere, all of a sudden.
I think because of the whole situation, I
Yeah.
understood that it was because of the whole situation, because he was kind of tricked by this woman, and it was in such a sensitive moment of his life,
Mm-hmm.
and he felt like he could trust her, but she was actually a bit of a criminal. It's like she was also doing this kind. She was also lying about her her kid custody and
Lucy.
asking for money. So
Lucy.
yes, there's this part they mentioned that.
Was it in this episode? I
Yes,
don't remember.
this scene that you're talking about,
Yeah. I
the
didn't pay
same
enough
scene.
attention to what they were saying about her. It was more about his Jack
So yeah,
crying.
that happened.
But yeah.
So yeah, we see the lady. We learned that her name is Helen. She's at the church and she meets the pastor. And the pastor's like trying to help her. He doesn't know who she is, but she knows who he is, and I think she probably knows him way back. Probably
In her wedding,
knows
maybe?
him.
You're saying?
Because I think that she died like many many years ago, more than Victor, more than like she died before Victor, maybe.
Yeah, we have
So
to check on the picture of her with her husband. I don't remember if he was already old in the picture while she was still young, or if both of
no,
them were young in the picture.
yeah, if I remember, for me they were not such a different, such a age difference.
Yeah, but
They
I
didn't
don't
have such
remember.
a
I don't
age
remember the
difference.
picture at all.
Yeah, we can check that, or maybe wait for the next episodes, because I think we're
Yeah.
gonna see more of her story. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have this really interesting conversation. Um, Like she's talking about Lazarus' resurrection, and I should have did my homework about it, but I didn't research more much about Lazarus' story, because I've seen it many times. Like in the X-Files, they have 2 episodes about Lazarus coming back from the dead.
Haven't you never
And
read
there's also,
this part of the Bible?
I never read the Bible. Yeah, I'm not baptized. I never had to read the Bible or anything like that. I was never. So yeah, I only know the Lazarus story through the X-Files. Um and also there's a poem that I really really love, that they use the part of Lazarus. They mention Lazarus because they are mentioning the book by Dante Alighieri's Inferno, and it's like, I'm Lazarus, come from the dead, came back to tell you all, I shall tell you all. Like, to tell what happened when he died. So I think it's really interesting every time I see this Lazarus story, because I remember all the fiction things that I heard about it, but I've never read the Bible. Do you know anything about it more?
Yeah, I've read this part of the Bible a couple of times, I guess.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like, because you wanted to?
Yeah. But yeah, I've read it a couple of times, and it was like he died, and he was resurrected after a
4
few
days.
days. 4 days?
Yes.
I don't remember.
4 days.
Yeah, but it was something like this. And because his sisters asked Jesus to do this. Yeah, they also mentioned this in the show.
Yes, the series, they talk about the sister. Yeah.
But there is not much
Yeah.
about him in the Bible. It's just a quick story, because in the Bible they show a lot of short stories like this one, and this is
Yeah,
just
this one is
one.
really interesting. I think I'm gonna read it later.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've every now and then when I want to, I'm not like, I don't have that much of faith, in
In
this,
religion?
in religion, in all of this whole thing. But every now and then I like to have a spiritual connection to something, so I try to read the Bible or try to pray or do something. So yeah,
For me,
I've read it, like some other stories recently, I guess. But it's most of the stories are very short. They don't go too deep into these stories.
yeah, it's like short stories. I think it's really nice because uh, since I wasn't brought up,
In a
I
religious
didn't have
in a
to read.
religious environment.
Yes, household. Um, my father was actually he was really active in church when he was younger, and he studied a lot. And my mother was also in the Catholic Church, so they knew a lot. But when I was born, my father had turned into a atheist. Atheist.
Are both
So
of your parents atheists?
no, only my father. But my mom didn't believe in church anymore. So for me, I have interest in reading the Bible more for like as a fiction book. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but I think it's really interesting, these stories.
Yeah,
So
but
I think I
yeah,
gonna read them. And
but it's
I really
interesting.
love this. I really love this quote from Jesus, because I saw it on another X-Files episode, and it's what Jesus says to
Luz-
Lazarus' sister, when, because I'm reading here that Lazarus' sister came to talk to Jesus, like saying, if you had been there, my brother wouldn't have died, something like that, she said. And then Jesus says to Martha, who is the sister, I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die.
Nice.
So the guy on the X-Files used this quote. He would be repeating this all the time to resurrect these people. So yes, it was like the 2000 prophecy about the world ending and people coming back from the dead, zombies and all this stuff. So it had to do with this quote from Jesus. The guy would repeat many times to revive these people.
But yeah, I think it's so interesting. I really like the English that is used in the Bible, you know. When I stop to read the Bible, I like to read it in English. And yeah, because it's fancy and it sounds more beautiful the way that it is
Yeah,
spoken.
it's because it's the not here because I'm reading from a Wikipedia page, but the original one I think is though who believes. Oh my gosh, I cannot say it. It's the third person words are in instead of s in the at the end it's th, if I'm not mistaken. Some of these words are
Mm-hmm.
they change to this. It's like a kind of old English,
Yes. Old English is
Shakespearean
fascinating for
time.
me.
Not so old, but say Shakespearean's English,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because
Yes.
there's an English that is far worse than this one. It's really difficult to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to look for it later and show you because it's really like
We
another
are
language.
very far from the episode now, aren't we?
Oh my god, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just coming back to the scene of Helen talking to the priest. I just noticed that the show is suggesting a sort of an atheist idea. Because she says that she starts talking about the afterlife, and she starts
Mm-hmm.
talking about the priest, why he tells people that they're gonna have a better life in the afterlife. Uh,
Like they are in the good
yeah,
place,
that there something good
right?
is gonna happen to them, when in fact he's lying, and she starts like she's pretty sure that he's not right, and they start having a conversation about the existence of something like of a god. I don't know. But I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
a nice thing to see, like they start
Yes.
making a contrast about the existence or the non-existence of a god, of a guardian, of a superior
Mm-hmm.
being.
I
But
I put on my notes that I thought it was a very interesting discussion about our affinity, you know,
because
because
every time I see anything related to our existence or about the afterlife, I start thinking about a lot of stuff, So in
yes.
this scene, this specific scene, it was one of the scenes that most caught my attention, and I tried to pay attention to what they were saying.
And in my case, not to feel bad about it, I just didn't think much about the subject.
You didn't?
I went to the opposite direction
Oh,
because I rather not think much about it right now.
yeah.
But I think because for me it was more like not so religious as you said. It's like atheistic thinking, because she's talking about they're like talking about that she's kind of suggesting that there is no end, and it's like we come back all the time. She's like suggesting that people is kind of trapped.
Mm-hmm.
I understood that, and I thought it was strange the way she said it. She said like something, you just can't keep on and on, she said that. It made me think that, did she come back more than once, more than one time? It kind of gave me this impression.
That's a nice impression of the scene, actually. But I didn't see it this way because when she mentions Lazarus' story, she says like he never asked for it to happen, and
Mm-hmm.
didn't his sisters wonder why, I don't know, like why it was happening, and if he was really the guy that they knew, and
Mm-hmm.
it was not fair with him, something like this. Like she was implying that he wouldn't be the same that he was before he died. So
Yes.
I just had the feeling like she was saying that it was not supposed to happen, like at all, like for someone to come back to
Yes.
life, because they don't come back the same as they were, you know.
Yes. Another thing that I took from the scene is the fact that she's really angry because she came back, and because of her, her husband killed himself.
Because of her.
Um, yes, it was it kind of, for
Oh
me it
no, yeah,
seemed like it
the
was
second
because
time,
of
yeah,
her,
yeah, yeah, you're
because
right.
she came back and he kind of was like, what the fuck am I? I totally lost my, my,
My
my
mind.
mind. And I don't know, I think she's kind of going through some grief herself.
But she
And
seems to be
yes,
heartbroken for something.
yeah, and I kind of, I already, so yes, I kind of liked her personality, immediately when I saw her. She's kind of,
A badass.
she seemed to be badass, and also she's not because everyone is like not talking, like hiding, and
Mm-hmm.
she seems more like outspoken than the others. I don't know.
And confident.
It seems like she has uh, more experience, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
with what's going
I
on.
guess she saw
I don't know.
more.
That's the vibe that she gave me.
I guess she
Okay.
saw more than the others.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was something like this. She probably saw a lot of things. Because when she died, so she knows what happens in the afterlife, right? So that's why
Mm-hmm.
the show is trying to sell an atheist idea, like because those people, they were dead and they know that there isn't an afterlife
Yes, for her, there's no paradise,
as
right?
we
She's
expect.
coming back to life.
Yeah, so she was pretty sure that Christian people are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and the contrast that I made, because talking about the existence or non-existence of a god, is because in the other scene, when Peter's talking to Camille, he, or was it Lena, I don't remember, but he talks about God, like that. Do you remember the line that he talks about God?
Yeah, he says that God wouldn't bring um Camille back to hurt her loved
Yeah,
ones.
that's it.
It was basically that.
Yeah. So like in one scene we see someone talking about God, like being someone who's pretty sure that there is a God or a superior being, and then we see someone who has come back to life saying that uh, the priest the priests are
Do you,
lying, that there
do you
isn't.
remember the mythology
Which one?
uh, behind Peter? The story of Peter?
Peter?
Yes, because Peter is a saint. I know that because of the X-Files too.
Peter.
It's
I'm trying to
the
remember who.
most I know about the Bible is because of the X-Files. Yes, Peter, he
Oh, he was
was, if I'm not wrong,
he was one of the disciples.
I don't know. And he was the one who was his cross is upside down. Yeah, so I was wondering if there's something about that because I don't know, it's a biblical name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Oh my god.
we should just go back to the episode.
Okay.
This subject leads us to a whole different
Yes, if,
direction.
if we knew more about in the case in this case if I knew more because I don't know anything, we could go deep into the conversation. I think you could go deeper, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but I guess this it doesn't require much knowledge of uh the Bible or anything because it's more a philosophical topic, I guess. Because it's something
Yes,
that you
but
believe. It doesn't have necessarily to be something that already exists in the.
I wonder if his name is Peter, just if there's something to do with that.
Oh, you're talking about
I
like
was
the
wondering.
story? Like you want to talk about the story, Peter's story?
Yes, that's what I was talking
Okay.
about because what I'm saying is that I would like to see if there's any parallels about between the Peter from the show and the Peter from the sacred book, the Bible. Yes, we go to Victor's house and
Julie's house?
yes, to Julie's house. We go to Julie's house and she's kind of worried about Victor. Uh, and he's kind of playing hide and seek. I don't understand why he's because he's acting as if he's scared. I'm saying acting because I don't understand how a boy who just supposedly killed a person
Mm-hmm.
is afraid of anything, you know.
But it's his
But
trauma. It's the way he died. I don't think he's gonna get rid
yeah,
of
but
the of the
he's
trauma of his death.
I I kind of have doubts about he being really him, you know. It's still weird, and there's no reason why he killed the neighbor. We're still there's no reason, you know. It's just a evil because I was doing this again, changing the subject. I was doing this Dungeons and Dragons um alignment test
Hmm.
to see which character I would be.
And which one
And
was it?
I'm a neutral chaotic person. I'm a neutral chaotic character, and I think Victor would be a evil chaotic because there's no reason for him to have killed the lady other than just to shut her up, you know, to shut her mouth.
I still think he's an
So
entity. I don't know.
yes, but whether he's a entity or not, he's a evil being. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I don't know
Yes, he's an evil being.
if he's actually evil, but he's not good. He's like he's something I don't know. I think he's an
And
entity.
he's not neutral either because
No. Yeah, so yeah, because usually I think entities they need to feed from something, from human feelings. I don't know. It's not actually 100% bad or good. I don't know.
yes. But what I see is that when the person crosses the line to kill another human being and um to kill with no like reason,
Mm-hmm.
for me he's an evil being. So what I don't understand is why an evil being is hiding, you know, on the closet. Um, because it's kind of portraying him as being a scared little boy, traumatized, but also he's a killer. So
Oh, yeah, but I guess we just need
yeah.
to remember that he died when he was a kid, right? He was still a kid, so I guess he has the qualities of a kid, of an 8-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the same as he was when he was alive, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because on Buffy, for example, when you are turned into a vampire, you kind of have the same personality traits, and if you have bad personality traits, you're going to have them worse on when you are a vampire. So yeah, it's
Like
kind of
amplified.
makes sense to me. Yes.
Yeah, it's the same as in the
So
Vampire Diaries too.
yeah, but
And yeah, but
Angel
in
came
the
first.
then coming back to the episode, uh,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but it's just that sometimes I just wonder if he's just acting, to just acting for Julie. So I don't understand. I like to understand that. I hope that we I hope that we get the answers on the next episodes.
mhm. Or maybe he's possessed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And
no, I was just kidding.
no, I don't. Yeah, he's not actually possessed. He's the real thing. The real demon.
Maybe he is the
Um.
demon.
Yes, he's the
He
demon
became a
his himself.
demon.
Yes, maybe all of them are demons.
Yes, maybe that's hell.
Maybe you're thinking that it's hell, the reality that they are.
Yeah, maybe that the city is actually hell, and the people who died think that they came back to life, but actually they are in hell. That would be
Mm-hmm.
creepy. That would be very
Yeah,
creepy.
but it kind of makes sense too.
Yeah, so
It's something that I sometimes think about actually. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you later about this kind of subjects because if not, this is going to be a really long recording.
yes.
So yeah. Um. Oh yeah. So yeah, can I just talk about that? The police ladies there at goes to Julie's house,
Mm-hmm.
and Julie sees that Victor is too traumatized, and she decides um, to hand him over to the authorities so in order for him to be taken care of for more experienced people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we see him leaving, and we see the drawing that he kind of he kind of painted Julie as being a fairy, right? Don't you think so?
What?
Did you remember that?
What scene?
Because one of the drawings is a fairy, and I think that it's
It was Julie.
Julie.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't remember the drawings right now, but yeah, he would probably have drawn her.
as a fairy.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So just linking this part to the beginning of the episode that he's talking about the fairy with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Yeah.
thinks that Julie is the fairy
She
that's
was
going
reading some
to
fairy tales to
protect
him,
him or
wasn't she?
something. Sorry?
She was his mother was reading some fairy tales in the beginning.
Yes, I mentioned that on
Yeah.
the beginning of the episode.
Yes. Sorry.
You wasn't paying attention.
I was sorry. I just forgot about it.
Now you really hurt my feelings.
Sorry.
I'm joking. Okay, I'm really being really silly today. I'm sorry. So yes, I thought it was interesting this scene because they focus on the drawing, and it's Julie as a fairy for me, and she was taking good care of him. So it's kind of now portraying him as being this sweet boy, right? So we have these two sides of him, as we were mentioning before, like the evil part and the scared, traumatized boy part.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back to the hospital. But since we talked a lot about it before, I just like to mention the part where Jack is there on the hospital finally, and we see the scene where he's talking to Claire and he asks where is Camille, and Claire says that she's eating again. So she's starting to realize that there's something wrong with Camille. And when the doctor asked her before that, if anything different happened,
Mm-hmm.
I think she kind of linked this events. Camille coming back to life, and Lena's back being having that injury. So yeah, it's funny because she mentioned the eating part, that it's really it's something that's been happening during all the episodes, that they eat a lot. I don't know if they're suggesting that at some point they're gonna become like flesh eating zombies.
Maybe.
You know, it kind of seems like they're trying to go to that direction, or maybe it's just a misdirect, something for us to think about, and something funny actually to think about. But yeah, they are eating too much, like all the time. So yeah, just like to mention that. And yeah, she's kind of devastated with the news that Jack was dating, not he was actually using the money that was supposed to go to Camille's college funds
Yes.
he was wasting on Lucy.
He used
And
he
he
used
says
all
that
the
she
money.
says that they're not gonna be together, like they start discussing their relationship
Mm-hmm. That we don't care about.
that we don't care about. We didn't talk about the fact that Rowan now knows that there's a camera on her house.
Yeah, her daughter found it and showed it to her.
Yes. And then on the same scene, I think Chloe is the name of Simon and Ron's daughter, and
Yes.
Ron introduces her to Simon, and she's like, "Oh, he's an angel." You know,
Mm-hmm.
she thinks her father is an angel.
She doesn't understand.
Yes, for her, it's something that okay, it's a magical, it's an angel,
Mm-hmm.
something good that happened. And then, since we're talking about Rowan, we now see this conversation, this Tommy and Ron arguing. Tommy came home and she's telling that she knows everything, that he had a camera. She's demanding explanations. She's saying that she's gonna
Yeah.
leave Tommy.
What I was expecting since the beginning.
Yes. And Tommy drops this massive bomb that Simon killed himself.
Yes.
And he never told this to Rowan this 6 years. And yeah, it's like, I think we kind of had this theory that he killed himself, right? From the last
Yeah, I
episode.
said it. And it
Yes.
was
And I also thought that made sense. So,
yeah, it was kind of pretty obvious. I don't know, when I saw him crying, I saw it was pretty obvious that
but I
something
still think
was.
that Tommy is behind his death.
Tell me.
like he isn't Tommy, is Timmy? Sorry, what? Yeah, like Tommy was obsessed with her before they've gotten engaged, and before the wedding he killed him and made it seem like it was an accident. Oh, sorry. Like it was like it was suicide. I don't know. I'm just because I still think that Tommy is a really bad guy.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah, but as
So
he said that he stepped in front of an 18 wheeler, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Do you know?
It is like a
What?
very big truck with a huge, with huge wheels, you
Oh,
know. And
oh
he
my
said that he like
God.
jumped in front of an 18-wheeler.
Oh my God, stop.
Yes.
Because now I'm seeing the image in my mind.
Yeah, and
It,
when he confirmed us that Simon actually killed himself, and when he told us the way that he died, the way that he killed himself, um, even I thought I had the impression. I mean, it confirmed to me that Simon was trying to escape from things. You know, he was confused. He was confused in his mind. He
mm-hmm.
wanted to put an end in his life because of something very dark.
Yeah.
So his death was something very. He was a very creepy and horrendous death. You know, like the way that he had the guts to jump in front of a truck.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yes.
he was probably very desperate to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It was something very serious.
Yes. It's really bad to think about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's saying that why do I think that Tommy killed Simon? Because he says that he loved Ron the minute that he saw her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I hope that he's saying, like, before they first that scene that he tells her that Simon died, because it's really weird to fall in love with a
Yeah,
person
the minute.
when you are telling them that a loved one has passed.
Yes.
So
You know what was
really
the
strange. That's
most?
why.
Well, you know what was the most shocking line for me in this scene?
No.
After he told us about Simon's death, he says that the moment when he told Rowan about Simon's death, she made a sound, and that sound still haunts him until nowadays. You know, I was. Did you pay attention to when he said this?
Yes, I paid attention, and kind of gives me like memories from my experiences, so
Like what?
yeah, it's because I remember when my sister got the news about my cousin when she died, and she kind of held herself on she held the door and just start to, like, she kind of fell on was on her knees and kind of start crying, and the noise was really like, yeah,
Loud.
yeah, that's really bad. It's something that happens a lot when you
Yeah,
are
that's true.
facing this kind of news. So yeah, it's something that it's terrible to watch.
Yeah,
And I
that's true.
can see when he said that, I could hear because I was kind of we saw the scene, right, on the church. She was crying, like sobbing.
Mm-hmm. No, we didn't
So
see.
yes.
We didn't see exactly how it happened because they kind of cut to the next scene, but it was very
Mm-hmm.
short. But yeah,
Yes.
when he said that the sound that she made still haunted him until nowadays, I think it was something very traumatic and
Mm-hmm.
serious. Um,
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, I
Um. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling awkward because I'm remembering all this.
yeah,
I'm relating to the story. Um, but it's really difficult not to think about it because you know, uh, as I told before on the other episodes, we spend like a lot of time thinking how our lives would be if our loved ones were here.
mm-hmm,
Uh, So this whole thing kind of increases these thoughts on me, this whole show. And seeing this scene kind of, it's inevitable for me not to think about it. And also because
It
this
resonates
July is like
feelings.
yes, off record. July is a month that actually my cousin died on July 7th, and my brother's birthday was supposed to be the 17th. So July has this, brings these memories for
Yeah,
me.
that's
So
pretty tough.
yes. So yeah,
And
I'm just
you
saying
should try not
because
to think too much
I,
about it, I guess. It's
yeah,
bad for
I'm
you.
just telling you because
It's
I want to apologize to be talking so much about my personal
but
matters
I think
here.
it's
So
inevitable when we see these things, we automatically remember things that happen to us also, I
mhm,
guess. There is no problem.
yes. So okay then. Yeah. I don't know how. Okay, sorry. So yeah, that scene was tough to hear, to watch. I could really see uh, Rowan, crying, sobbing
Yeah.
when he said that. And then we go to the hospital, and we already talked about that, right? The Lena um, holding Camille to have some kind of closure, to see if she would stop feeling her presence.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that her back injury is the same as hers.
Yes.
And probably we from that I think we can understand that. I understand that next episode, if something isn't if nothing happens to change this, she's probably going to be dead by like in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
Maybe
also,
that's why she's already crying, right?
yeah, I was gonna mention this. She started crying.
Um, yes. And then the final scene is really interesting. We see Victor entering I think it's
The community center.
the community center. Yes. Um, um, Peter is there to bring him to the community center, and Helen sees him, and she's kind of, yeah, we talked that before the episode. It's like she's saying, oh no, he's here, oh bloody hell,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe he's here, something like that. And we kind of have this, i think it was I think it's a discovery about Peter's life, because he the lights turn off, and Victor starts to get
Scared.
scared, and Peter says, just sing a song in your head, the same thing
That the
that the
guy
guy
said, yes.
that said 29 years ago to him
It was
before he
very
died.
creepy.
Oh my god, yes, it was. It was really, really, really creepy. I'm remembering and I'm getting scared already.
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, so as I was saying since the first episode, um, there's something off about Peter, right?
Yeah. And
We can
it's
agree.
this scene was actually funny for me because Simon had already gone to the community center, and then Helen goes there, and then Victor goes there, and it's like a reunion of
Mm-hmm.
dead people. It's like, as
Yes.
I mentioned, he's trying to reunite dead people to form a gang.
Alliance. Just to finish, we have like this mystery yet. Victor is afraid of the lights, the lights turning off. And you say that it's only because he was killed when when the lights were off.
Mm-hmm.
But also Helen is kind of scared of the water turning dark too, you know. So I was kind of wondering if there's is there something threatening their existence, and we can see that, you know, like some entity that would appear when the lights are off and the water is turning dark. So I was kind of thinking about that. I don't know, and also
If
now you
something
have the
appears and only them can see it,
yes, I don't know.
yeah, that
So
would make sense.
this is like a another mystery to solve,
Mm-hmm.
and also who the hell is Peter, right? I wanna see that.
Well, yeah, like what is he trying to do? Getting them to into his community center, and what does he know, right? Because
Yes,
he knew someone just like them some time ago. So he's
and
one of
also
the only
he
people who knows what's probably going on.
and also he has this dark past that I hope we can, you know, see further
Mm-hmm.
about it. So
Yes.
yeah, I hope to see the answers for these questions on the next episodes.
Yeah, me too.
And did you enjoy this episode?
Yes. I had said in the previous one that it was the most interesting for me, but now I think this one was the most interesting for me because
Yeah, so
yeah, because some things happened, things that we were expecting to happen happened in this one, like Rowan going out with Simon, like Rowan making out with Simon, and
mm-hmm.
she found out about Tommy being a psychopath, an obsessive, stupid shit, piece of shit, asshole, and someone that I want dead. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah.
Let's hope Victor doesn't hear what you're saying.
No, I hope Victor is not listening to me now.
Oh yeah, I think for all the reasons that I said before, this is not my cup of tea, but I think it was a really well elaborated episode. I
Mm-hmm.
was interested, and I'm interested in knowing what's gonna happen. You know, like how these mysteries are going to be, if they're going to be answered, and what's going to happen to Lena. I'm really afraid that Lena is going to die. I
Yes.
hope she's going to be saved
Yeah.
somehow.
The Creepiest Moment Award.
So for me, the creepiest moment of this episode was actually the first scene. Was the scene when we saw Victor getting killed, because for me, um, guns are usually scary. You know, I get a little apprehensive when I see gunshots, when I hear gunshots, or when I picture people being killed by gunshots. And I don't know, the sound and the scene was really realistic. And then we saw the blood coming from the closet, and
Yes.
and Victor was really scared. He was terrified in that scene, and it was very dark. And yeah, the shot for me was a little disturbing. Seeing someone getting shot is a little disturbing for me.
I was kind of I I was indecisive about which one to pick because I'm also really scared of home invasion, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
way it all happened. It's something that it's triggering, and but as I said before, the stabbing thing is really stabbing for me is the worst thing, is the second worst way to die. So
After a disease, right?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you already said this.
So when I saw the neighbor's body, she had these stabbing wounds again. her mouth was covered in blood and her eyes were like open and really scared, you know. Her eyes were representing what she was feeling when she died.
Yeah, what she was
And
seeing.
you know, the cat's eating something that seemed to be a part of her body. For me, that scene was really, really creepy. You know, it had been a long time. It had been a long time since I seen this kind of scene, you know, because I try to stay really away from all this violence stuff. So for me, this was the creepiest moment.
So, that was it for today. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
And don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Nikki Joe Podcast.
And hope to see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.